Good morning, Tara.
Good morning.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good, good, good. Well, we're at 2 minutes past, so I'm gonna do some introductions and then we can get started. So thank you for joining us this morning. I'll let other people in as they come into the webinar. But firstly, I'd like to thank you for joining this morning and introduce Ella, firstly, who's
Yeah.
my main contact I work with at Park Plaza, Westminster Bridge in London. Well, all Park Plaza properties, but particularly Westminster Bridge. And also Michaela, who's joining us this morning from their team as well, who's going to be showing us some of the great meeting space there. So if you have any questions during the webinar, please put them in the chat. I'll read them out to Ella either during the webinar or at the end, or obviously if you've got any questions at the end, please ask. So Ella, I'm going to hand over to you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you all for joining us in our webinar. I was just checking the weather. So let me just flip into my presentation. So first of all, good morning, USA. A very warm welcome from this unusually sunny London. My first idea was to broadcast to you from our suite with the balcony overlooking the Westminster Bridge and the Houses of Parliament and the Big Ben. However, it's so hot over there that my laptop couldn't cope with that. So you need to trust me. And that's why I'm sitting now at the executive lounge to show you how close we are exactly from the Westminster Bridge, Big Ben, and Houses of Parliament. Together with me today is also Michaela, who is our expert in terms of meetings and events and anything that obviously you would like to book here at the Westminster Bridge. Before we depart into our conversation and presentation, I want to show you a little bit and speak to you and talk to you about our beautiful hotels and the location, because I think we need to start with London. So first of all, you cannot be closer to central London locations with our hotels. We are literally sitting at the South Bank. There is 2 minute walk to London Eye. There's another 3 minute walk to Westminster Bridge and Houses of Parliament. Did you know that the International Congress and Convention Association ranked London the top 10 worldwide destinations for congresses, conventions, and associations and meetings? So we are in the top 10. We have also in London very much generous inventory in terms of the rooms. Overall, we have 1,400 bedrooms in London. Sorry, 140,000 bedrooms in London. 2,500 in South Bank belong to us. We wouldn't be talking about London without Elizabeth Line. It has really changed, fundamentally changed and reshaped London. We are basically relying on this fast connection to get to Heathrow or get to Excel, for example, on the underside of London. As a reference, I pointed out here for you at the map how close we are to the main stations. So for example, if you are taking a train from Heathrow, you will be in central London within half an hour. There is additional maybe 10-15 minute tube ride from Bond Street or from Tottenham Court Road to reach Waterloo Station. What do we know about Park Plaza, or what would you like to know about Park Plaza? First of all, we are the upper upscale hotels, very much contemporary. We have obviously individually designed the hotels, but they hold the same concept. In the world, we have 23 properties that we operate under PPHE. We have hotels in Amsterdam, we have hotels in Berlin, we have hotels in Budapest, and of course in London. We also have hotels in Croatia, but here predominantly you can see the resorts and the campsites. We are also part of the Radisson Hotel Group. What does it mean for us? This is the never-ending, evergreen franchise agreement where we operate and then use distributions, marketing under the Radisson Hotel Group. So, speaking about the Park Plaza here in central London, you have 5 hotels next to each other. And when I say next to each other, there's literally 2, maybe 10-minute walk between them. We have 2,500 bedrooms in our inventory. And today we will be, of course, focusing on Westminster Bridge. So, Westminster Bridge. This is our flagship hotel. This is 1,023 bedrooms. You have here one of the biggest ballrooms in London. Apart from bedrooms, we also have suites and the twin rooms as well, which will obviously support any large groups. Hotel amenities like gym, sauna, steam room, pool, and spa have been just recently refurbished. We also have executive lounge that I'm broadcasting from. And then we have also 2 beautiful restaurants. We also have our Primo bar and then the Ely Cafe, which is located downstairs. Our restaurants are basically focusing on 2 different cuisines. We have Brasserie Joël, which is our signature French cuisine. We also have Ichi and Sushimi Bar, offering the Japanese-inspired dishes. At the Primo Bar, you can enjoy yourself having a cocktail, having a drink or a coffee, and then enjoy the live music, which is being played throughout the evening. Our Ely Cafe is servicing our corporate guests as well, who are on the go and they would like to just have a coffee and a croissant. I will now hand it over to Michaela, talking a little bit about our meeting.
Thank you, Ella. It's lovely to meet you all again, and thank you for taking the time to join the call. So I'm going to start off with giving you a brief overview of all our M&E space at Park Plaza Westminster. So funnily enough, it is one of Europe's leading conference hotels, ideal for residential events of up to 700 guests or 1,000 people for awards dinner. So here you can see how it's split up across the floor. So you have 3 key floors here. You will see that on the hotel lobby area where the main entrance is, that is our only and dedicated entrance for guests. So it's very easy in terms of flow. In terms of that level, you have the Park Suite situated on the left, which has some smaller syndicate spaces alongside the cloakroom. So the cloakroom is the first point of call where guests would come in terms of flow. That can facilitate event space of up to 600 people. Anything over that, the Park Suites would be used for overflow. Then guests would make their way around to avoid bottlenecking to the other side of the floor. You can see we have a lift shaft that runs all the way down. We have 6 dedicated M&E lifts as well as a spiral staircase that runs all the way down. The second floor that you will see is the Plaza Suite level. Now on this level, you have 13 syndicate rooms. The great thing about this space is that all the partition walls can be taken out and it can be one large open space. So this is very great for drinks receptions that we host. It can do up to 1,000 people reception style. However, for conferences, we can partition it multiple ways. You can either get 3 large syndicate rooms out of it or partition it into a double, a triple or a single and have a lounge area in one. So it's a really great versatile space. We do have clients who always come and say, you know, they have a venue that can only do X, Y, and Z. And then the agenda does change. As we know, it changes. It can even change very close to the event. The very great thing about the Plaza Suite, that if you need additional space, we can just partition it off. So that's never a worry, because it's a great flexible area with lots of versatility. It also does have a fixed bar area on this level, which works very well. And there are multiple branding opportunities also there. There are some pillars that run in the middle, but do not affect the event space whatsoever. It's mainly in the foyer. These can also be pillar wrapped and stuff like that as well. So this is generally where you'd have your catering and exhibition space or syndicate rooms. Flowing down to the final level, you have the Westminster ballroom. You can see in front of it, you have a pre-function area. So this can actually do up to 550 reception style or 450 for lunch. So you can see if we had a larger conference for up to 1,000 people, they would then have the catering in the Plaza Suite, or we can split it as well. If we can use some of the syndicate rooms, if they need to utilize those, we can split it. Once you come through into the ballroom, you can see that it's partitionable. It can partition up to 4 ways. So generally for a large conference, we can have it fully opened. We can also turn the space around in over the lunch break and split it into 4 different areas if you needed some larger syndicate spaces, or split it in half, or vice versa. You could also do your main plenary in the top half and have catering exhibition in the bottom half. It's a very great and versatile space, and that's what a lot of our clients really love about it, that we're very flexible and accommodating in terms of their needs. So in total, we have about 32 different flexible meeting rooms. The other meeting rooms that we do also have are the city rooms. So the city rooms are actually located on the bedroom levels on floors 2 to 12. So we have 11 of them, and we are we've just renovated city room 12, and we're working our way down into like a premium space, because these actually have natural daylight and views of the Shard. So the higher up you go, the more impressive the view is. And it's great for smaller boardroom style meetings in terms of executive level suite. Ella, if you can move on to the next slide for me, that would be amazing.
Yes, no problem. I'm on it.
Okay, so as I mentioned, we are one of Europe's leading conference hotels, ideal for residential events for up to 700 guests or 1,000 for awards dinners. We've got a lovely little video to show you that's going to drone over and whip around the event space, and then I will showcase the ballroom for you. Thank you, Ella. I appreciate it. I'm now going to flip the camera around and give you a lovely tour of our ballroom. Just bear with me 1 second. Can you all see the ballroom?
Yes, we can.
Has it flipped around? Fabulous. Okay, I'm going to start over here so you can kind of get an idea of the space overall. So at the moment, it's fully open. You can see there are no partitioning lines. If I tilt the camera up, you can see where the partitioning lines in the ceiling would go and how the ballroom would be split should you be using it in that space. We have also set up some examples in terms of what an standard dinner layout would look like and some cabaret and theatre style. Now you will notice we have 3 glass panels either side of the ballroom. So these are fully brandable, they can be vinyl wrapped, they do light up in colour as well. So you can really make it your own space depending on what the objective of the event is. We do also have 26 rigging points in the ceiling. Now we have added an additional 2 last year, which means you can rig further back and get more in terms of capacity. So obviously, depending on what you're doing, whether it's front projection, back projection, and what else you're having on the M&E floor, that will reduce your capacity accordingly. We work with our in-house production partner, which is Encore. So they do have some screens already fitted within the ballroom in itself. However, clients are more than welcome to use an external AV supplier. Obviously, there was a fee in terms of the supervision of the D-rig and the setup and the review of the health and safety paperwork, but we can also work with them in collaboration. This is a very popular option for clients. Another key great selling point of the ballroom is the loading. So we don't have any restrictions because we're not in a residential area, which means that we have 24-hour access, which is very great because there are some hotels that obviously have restricted loading times. Where
Me and Hendo went out for a dinner, just the two of us, and we had like steak and.
Sorry, I didn't catch the question.
Sorry, go ahead. It's fine, go ahead.
Oh, we want me to continue?
You continue, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So in terms of some hotels in London, you do have restrictions in terms of loading. So you will be limited in terms of what time your external AV supply come in, whereas we do not have that at all, which is very good in terms of a key selling point. We are fully air conditioned, which obviously helps massively given this hot climate that we are currently experiencing. And the good thing about it is we don't recycle the air. It's actually fresh air coming in from the outside. So in terms of the delegate experience, they're actually more energized and awake as well, which is very good. Now, in terms of dinners, we can turn around a dinner in terms of service. We can serve 900 people in under 11 minutes. And how that works is we have 2 kitchens on the ballroom level. So when we have dinners, it's split in 2. Everyone is served at the same time and it's all cleared in at the same time. So service is a really key thing for us. We might be a 4-star hotel, but our service is 5-star. And this is why we have a lot of repeat business in terms of clients and why we are very favoured in terms of dinners for our dinner season as well. Now, in terms of the ballroom function area, you can kind of see it from here, how it kind of connects. So it's all very close together if you were to have it as one space and use that bit as catering as well. In terms of some of the clients that we have in-house, we're very big on tech and pharma, and some of the examples of what they can do in the space, you wouldn't recognise it after they've branded it and washed it over with colours. We've had clients who have wrapped the entire walls in LED. So you walk in and it's a completely immersive experience, completely whitewashed with wrapping around the walls as well. Now, we've had cars rigged to the ceiling. The loading bay is very large, so we can get a massive SUV in there also. In terms of the layouts here, to give you a bit of an idea, so in terms of dinner, we would have black underlay with white cloths with the mirrors and some candelabras, but this can all be additionally dressed depending on what the client is trying to deliver in terms of theming as well. For cabaret, our capacities are all based on 8 per table. However, this can be amended depending on what they're doing in the room as well. And as you can see, usually high impact, the staging would be directly in front here, but we do have events that have the stage here or on the other side, depending on what they're trying to deliver content-wise. Now, where we partition the rooms here, you can see this is where you would obtain your big syndicate spaces. So if you were to have your main plenary, you can have 2 larger syndicates here and at the back as well. And the key thing is where we can turn it around over lunch is very helpful, which gives us a lot of time to do it and connect it. Obviously, bearing in mind the stage, they would have to factor that into the stage set production, but we do this on a very regular basis. I'm going to slow down so you can kind of get the full width of the space. Another thing to note is actually on this level, a lot of people, when they go to large events, have problems with the bathrooms, ladies especially, in terms of queuing. Now, the great thing about Park Plaza Westminster, that when they were first building it, the owner had his wife come down to the Park Plaza ballroom and have a look. And the first place she went was the bathroom. And she said the bathrooms aren't big enough. So they redesigned it and made them rather large. They're actually one of the largest bathrooms at an M&E space in London, and there's never any queues, especially when we have such large awards dinners and conferences, which is a key selling point as well. A lot of the staff here have been here for a very long time. Post-COVID, we retained a lot of them as well to ensure the expertise and knowledge of delivering such high-value events is continued. Now, the carpets have also been changed very recently. Early last year, we changed the ballroom, and we've also just changed the Plaza Suite as well. So we're all cohesive and matching in that regard. Has anyone got any questions at the moment in terms of the space in itself?
Hi, Michaela. It's Veronica.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Very good. Can you share just briefly, like a perfect, what we call a meet and feed, right? Size of group, what's the perfect fit residentially? And then also just cover what you're looking for in high season, London high season versus conference season, because I know sometimes those guidelines can be a little different given that you are in a prime visitor location, and in high season you have some different conference and residential needs.
So essentially, throughout the year, we are a residential conferencing hotel. There are certain periods such as November and December where it's kind of award season, where we will have repeat clients who come to us year on year. And this is booked 2 or 3 years in advance. So November and December are the trickier months in terms of demand, in terms of new business, only because of the repeat client business that we have already on the books. That doesn't mean that we can't take new business on. We will always find an option where possible, and we ensure that we're on top of our repeat clients as well. Now, in terms of throughout the rest of the year, residential conferencing is our main source of clients in terms of where that comes from. So in terms of peak months, June's a very busy month for us in terms of demand. We do have September next year, which is quite a busy month for us. But in terms of what we're looking for right now, our need periods are kind of Q1. So we've got week commencing the 4th of January. We've got the 25th to the 27th of January available on a joint first option. We've got 2 weeks left in February. And we've got 2 weeks left in March, which are our key focus areas where we are looking for residential conferencing business. Now, in terms of the numbers, when I mentioned we can do up to 700 residential conferencing is kind of the key area. We can do more. That's not to say it's not an option, but what tends to happen is we will overflow into our sister properties for the bedroom side of things. So a lot of the time, what you might see is you'll have a couple of bedroom options. So I will usually send an option 1, which is all under one roof. Option 2, which is split between Park Plaza Westminster and Park Plaza County Hall. The great thing is Park Plaza County Hall is directly next door. So you're basically at Park Plaza Westminster. And then it could be split to Park Plaza Waterloo or Riverbank, depending on the numbers. So we can still do the residential conferencing element of it. It's just not all of the rooms over 700 may be located in Park Plaza, Westminster, if that kind of makes sense. But where possible, we do try and accommodate more than that where we can.
Excellent. Thank you.
Michaela, if I can add anything to that as well. The booking window usually for this hotel is between 18 and 24 months. We already have a couple of bookings even for 2030. So for the large residential, the ideal one would be obviously Sunday setup, Monday pre-conference run, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday would be the main conference. As Michaela has mentioned, all the rooms can be held under one roof, and this is one of our USPs.
Yes.
So what would you say is the minimum number of bedrooms to hold that space?
So it's a very good question, actually, and one that doesn't have a very
I know that's like
direct
how long's a piece
answer.
of string, but
So the thing is, we take every booking on a case-by-case basis. So, and we look at it in detail. So some depends on the month, depends on the need, if it's a need period, depends on the demand, where some weeks that are residential conference weeks, we will look at, depending on the overall value of the M&E business, we can say, okay, we will take it without the bedrooms, or we'll take it with a smaller number of bedrooms that we would normally take, depending on the lead time as well and how far out it is. So it's all very case by case. Obviously,
Right.
if it's a booking that's going to happen in the next 3 months and we've got a gap and we really need the Monday to Wednesday, but obviously ideally we do want residential business, but because of the lead time, we're already outside the booking window, we will take a non-residential conference in that week. So it's never a kind of fixed amount. It's all depends on the overall value of the business. So for example, if I had an inquiry that was a 3-day conference, and perhaps it didn't have any bedrooms, but if they were going to add on 2 dinners, that makes the overall value of the M&E business quite high. So then we can kind of like, actually, the value of the M&E outweighs the need for the bedrooms on this occasion in that week. So it's never like each week has a set amount. It's very hard to say because everything's done on a case by case. And I know that's not very helpful for you.
No,
that's why.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I think the great thing is having Park Plaza Riverbank just down the road, that
Exactly.
if you think your conference is a little bit too small for the space there, then you've got the other option literally 10 minutes away.
Exactly. And what we tend to do, I think there's been maybe a little misconception in terms of a number of years ago, especially kind of pre-COVID. A lot of the sales team were we were quite stringent on it. We need minimum numbers of 550 per day for the ballroom. However, now obviously the demand is not quite as it was pre-COVID levels. So we're happy to consider smaller numbers on the basis of a room hire supplement, for example. So it's not we won't take the booking, it's just we would add a room hire supplement where required in order to meet the value required for that ballroom, or we will always suggest Park Plaza Riverbank as well to give you a comparison. So we can do it at Park Plaza Westminster, but there might be a room hire supplement given the lower end of the minimum numbers, or we can do it at Park Plaza Riverbank. So we always like to accommodate where we can and not say no, if that makes sense. We look into it, we see what we can do and try and make it work for the client where possible on every occasion.
Great. And I know on the screen you've put your day delegate rate for September and October. Can you just elaborate on what's included in your day delegate rate?
Yes, of course. So depending again if the client has requested something specific, in terms of the standard offering, you get the meeting room hire, you get 3 servings of tea and coffee, a standing hot fork buffet lunch, you get the use of the cloakroom, you also have I'm just trying to think very standardly without it being bespoke. You'll have a flip chart in there, you'll have pens and pads as well. There is no AV included in our DDRs because all the requirements are very bespoke, so it's very difficult to include a screen, but especially given the size of the meetings that we tend to deal with at Park Plaza Westminster, because it's never just a screen, if that makes sense. So all our proposal will always have an audiovisual section, which will say, we work with Encore, who's our in-house production partner. Please reach out to their sales team via the email address, or please feel free. Of course, you can bring an external supplier. There's a one-off fee. So sadly, we don't include any AV in the DDR rate.
Okay.
But then we can amend the DDR depending, if the client wants one coffee break or it's a half DDR, or if we're adding something specific into it, we can play around with it as well. It's not very stringent and fixed, but that's kind of the standard offering.
Okay, thank you. And you did say that they can bring in their own supplier for AV, right? Instead of Encore.
Absolutely. And a lot of clients do that because some clients work with them specifically and they tour around as well with them. If it's like a roadshow where they're kind of going from city to city, no problem at all. We work with a lot of external AV suppliers. Some of them do collaborate with Encore on some of the stuff because obviously the drop-down screens are owned by Encore. And in the Plaza suites, each section has its own drop-down screen as well. So that's a kind of a collaboration thing, but absolutely external AV is very popular.
Thank you.
No problem. If there's no other questions about the ballroom in itself, I will hand it back to Ellen. She can talk about Radisson rewards for bookers and planners.
Thanks, Michaela.
No problem.
Thank you, Michaela. What is quite beneficial here for us being under the Radisson brand is that you can benefit from the rewards, Radisson rewards for bookers and planners. First of all, this is the invitation only program. You also have to appoint a program administrator who will be obviously signing into the terms and conditions. First of all, you can earn points. So it is 10 points per every dollar spent on accommodation, and also 5 points for every dollar spent on meetings and events. You can earn up to 250,000 points per booking. Once you're going to collect those points, you can obviously redeem them and then convert them to the personal stays or company stays, or get the exclusive upgrades and add-ons for the future bookings. You can sign up very much easily. The moment that you are sending the inquiry, we will send you the link as well. So from the moment you're placing the inquiries, you can start and obviously signing those inquiries into the contracts, you can start collecting your points. Let me just quickly go back to the need dates. It's very unusual and unlikely for us to find the need dates for such a big hotel. As I mentioned, we are getting the leads at least 18 to 24 months in advance. We also have some challenges now in the market in London. As you can imagine, the hotels who were relying on the Middle East market and the guests and the groups and the M&E as well. So all the Mayfair, it's struggling a little bit. So basically they were taking some of our 4-star business. And that's why it left us with a couple of gaps. So basically the beginning of September, we still have availability in the ballroom. We also have availability at the beginning of October. This rate, £80 plus VAT, is heavily reduced from 95 plus VAT. So this is the average kind of rate that you will pay outside those need periods for us, and also maybe kind of low season for the rest as well. We also have a big focus on Q1 at the moment, and it's also very unlikely for us to have 2 weeks open still in January, 2 weeks open still in February, and the last 2 weeks in March as well. In terms of the group rates for this year, wherever you're going to book now for the rest of the year for September, October, the ink rate is £269, which of course includes the breakfast and the VAT. When we look at the Q1, we can go as low as 229.
That's an amazing rate for London.
Very amazing. Yeah, to be honest with you, it's very unusual for us to sell in such a low rate. But as I said, we do need to fill in the bedrooms and the ballroom as well. We have way too many people working for the hotel as well to send them on holidays.
So what if somebody was booking for, say, 2028, which is your normal kind of window? Just give us an idea. I know it's very difficult to give an idea, a range of rates that you might be looking at.
So 2028 dates, if you book still within 2027, you should be able to secure £95 for day delegate. And in terms of the accommodation, you should be able to secure the rate still below £300.
Okay, again, great rate for London.
Yeah. And obviously, the more in advance you're going to book, the better for you as well. I would recommend avoiding busy periods for London, because as you can imagine, we are here in central London. So this week, for example, it's a Wimbledon week.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of leisure guests. We have a lot of groups as well. I'm going to be honest with you. We are selling tonight 600 or 700 pounds.
That doesn't surprise me for a Wimbledon week. Yeah.
Yes. So there are some dates, as I said. So it's a Wimbledon week, it's Farnborough week, it's sometimes DSCI when it comes to London every second year as well, where the rates could be a little bit higher. But our strategy here is to secure the base business, and the base business is the groups, is the M&E, is our corporates. We have 1,000 rooms here.
I think that's a great message as well, that if you're looking at dates for London, is to talk to your hotels about what's going on in the city, because from one week to the next, that can make a huge difference on your room rate if there's a major event happening.
Yes, exactly. We're always honest as well. So, for example, when the meetings and events department are taking the inquiries, and let's say your inquiry will be during the Wimbledon week, when we're quoting or when we have this initial conversation, we'll be honest about the demand in London. We will try to guide our clients to, if they are budget conscious or they would like to have more rooms, for example, we'll always guide them outside those busy periods.
Great, thank you.
And then finally here, we are putting our newsletter together. So every quarter, we would like to send some more information about our hotels. This is mainly to inspire you, to inform you about the new initiatives, the highlights of the properties as well. So once Cheryl will be sharing this presentation with you, please kindly sign up for this newsletter. We will obviously take it off from the ground at the beginning of autumn. And that's all from us.
Thank you.
We will await more questions.
Thank you very much, Ella.
I will move away from the sun because I am roasting right now.
Thank you very much. That was a great presentation on the property. Does anybody have any questions they would like to ask?
Besides June for Wimbledon, what are the peak times for London?
June, July, September, November.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And I think that the other one that I've actually come across, which was one to be aware of, that the US doesn't pay as much attention to, is Easter. That it would be a holiday the Friday and the Monday, which is a big time for London. The hotels will be quieter, but it does affect the business side for the holiday.
Exactly as well.
Yeah.
If I can add to that as well, Cheryl, we have every 6 weeks here in UK so-called half term in our schools as well. So naturally the corporate demand is dropping during those weeks. First set of weeks is starting at the mid February. Then it's the Easter period, which is usually 2 weeks. And then we have another one at the end of May, beginning of June. where again we have a week or two of school holidays, and then the school will be breaking for the summer holidays next week Friday, and then they will resume again in September. And then you have another school break at the end of October and of course Christmas. So every 6 weeks, if you're planning an event as well, starting from beginning of the year, I would be mindful of those dates as well, because it's not only for us, but then in London, you can really secure very good offers for the corporate events, not for leisure, because then again, leisure demand will be a little bit higher.
Yeah. But it also depends whether you're expecting a UK audience to attend your event, right? If it's an international one, it's not as big a deal. But if you've got UK audience and you're trying to do it during an Easter break or something, you're not going to get as many people attending. Yeah. So, but thanks for that, Susie. Any other questions? Well, thank you for attending this morning. Park Plaza really has some fantastic hotels in London. We will do another one just showcasing Park Plaza Riverbank at some stage. But like Ella said, they've got County Hall right next door. You've also got Waterloo. So for any bigger event, you've actually got your own little cluster of hotels there in one of the most outstanding locations in London. And I think that's one of the nice things. If you're going to London for a meeting or an event and you really don't have much time, at least you're in one of my iconic locations, and literally you stand in the lift lobby or elevator lobby overlooking Big Ben, which really is. I know you do it all the time, but when you're from somewhere else, to be able to stand there and look at Big Ben when you're waiting for your lift is amazing. Yeah, it's a great location, and literally you can walk across the street. You've got the London Eye right there. You can take the Uber boat down the river now, which is kind of fun. So, and there's a lot of fun things you can do on the South Bank. And I'll actually do a presentation at some stage with Philip from Extraordinary Britain from my DMC in London. And we'll highlight some of the great things you can do on the South Bank in London, which I think would be really interesting. But I want to thank everybody for attending today, and watch out or look for the next webinar that we'll be doing. But if I will send through the presentation that Ella sent today, and if I can help with anything, then please reach out. We'd love to work with you.
Great, thank you.
And if you have any business for us for the need dates, I will personally fly over and thank you for that.
Thanks very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a good day,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.